What's up, guys? Nate and Sutton back again with another video, and today we are talking about traveling together as virgins.
This has been the most asked question, I think, of all time.
All time, wow.
I mean, like, every video we make, someone is commenting, asking us this question, and then on Instagram, we have hundreds of messages with this question. So we're answering it today.
So how did we do it? As you can see from our intro, some of our past travel videos, me and Sutton, we love to travel together. It's something that we are very passionate about. And as you guys know, we were virgins when we got married. So how did we do it? How did we travel all these exotic, romantic destinations and remain virgins?
And we're going to tell you how we did it. But before we get into that, we want to tell you about this app called pray.com.
Yes. And we're really excited about this sponsor because they support what we believe in. And it can be very difficult for Christian YouTubers to get sponsorships because of our beliefs.
Yeah, so pray.com is an app that is basically like a all-inclusive religious Bible app. It's really cool. They have Bible stories, they have daily prayers, they have Bible stories for little kids, like catered to little kids, even Bible stories for bedtime, which are like really soothing. It's got this soothing voice and background noises and stuff. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Which I'm really excited about the car rides, because with Oakland, we always turn on these stupid cartoons, and all of you know, Baby Shark, do, 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 but now we're going to be doing Bible, do, 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 do.
Bible stories.
Pray.com is the #1 app for daily prayers and bedtime Bible stories.
And we're going to put a flow code on the screen. And how you do this is you open up the camera on your phone and hold your phone up to the code. It will scan it and a banner will pop down to ask you to download the app. And they're making it super simple for you guys to get it too.
Yes, and go check it out. By supporting them, you're supporting us, and believe me, we're not going to be promoting something to you guys that we don't think is really cool. So you can feel rest assured that whatever we bring up on this channel is going to be of some good quality.
Now into the juicy stuff.
All right, here we go. So as you guys know, not too long after me and Sutton met, we took a road trip to California, a 2-week trip. We live in Georgia, to California and back. We took a road trip through Canada and Montana later on. And so we really just loved exploring the world together and going on trips. I mean, what's funner than that, right?
Funner's not a word. The question is, how do you do it and remain a virgin?
Yeah, so that's the tricky part. We actually had a really interesting thing into our California trip. I feel like right before we went on our trip, our 2-week road trip, that God gave me an epiphany. And the epiphany was that we need to drive the speed limit the entire trip. Under the speed limit.
That was not easy.
So could you imagine driving from one side of the country to the other and back, going under the speed limit the whole way?
People are just flying past us. Because there are roads that it's just like nothingness, and you're just on this road alone, and we're going the speed limit.
Yeah, it was so random, but I feel like God was telling me that by doing this, it's going to be a constant reminder that you guys are going to be taking the narrow path. You're going to be honoring God throughout this whole relationship. He wants us to honor Him throughout our entire trip, and it'll just be a constant reminder while everyone's zipping past us. The whole world is going. Yeah, we're not going to be going with the flow of the world. Is pretty much what the whole thing was, and I thought that was really cool. Although I don't think you liked it too much.
Well, it was more time together, so we would have done the trip way faster if we would have been going the speed limit.
I know, man. You look at your GPS and it's like 13 hours to Texas, and it's like, oh my goodness, we're about to do the speed limit the whole way.
Going together on a road trip, just the two of you, and spending that much alone time together is really treading the line of good and bad, I feel like. Because you're putting yourself into some really tempting situations, and it's you two all the time. And for us, even places that we went that were public places, nobody was there. there's like nobody around, and so it was always just us. And yeah, you're putting yourself in tempting situations, and as fun as it was, I have to suggest that you just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a fun idea and really a fun, great thing to do, but we have to say that you need to wait till marriage to have a trip together like this. If you're dating, if you're in a relationship, if you're engaged, it's just nearly impossible to spend that much time with each other, especially in like exotic and romantic destinations, that it's just, you're putting yourself in a situation that is nearly impossible to get out alive. Even though that we did come out as virgins on the other side of our trips, it doesn't mean that we made the best decision by taking that trip and that we didn't put stumbling blocks in our way.
It's just not worth it. If we could do it again, we would wait for marriage, and we suggest you do too. More fun anyways is traveling while married.
Oh yeah.
Because then there's no boundaries and you just do whatever you want.
I know. Could you imagine at that waterfall?
Oh my god.
Just kidding. With all that said, if you must go against all wisdom and you have to go on a trip together like we did, we do have some suggestions for you, because we know there's some of you guys that are just going to do it anyway. So we do have some guidelines that will help you stay away from getting into the dirty while you're alone together.
So tip number 1, as we just mentioned, would just be to stay in separate rooms. It's going to be expensive, but that's what you got to do if you're stuck on going on a trip together. Even if you get a room that has 2 separate beds, just don't bother, because one of you is going to end up in the other one's bed, most likely. Mm-hmm. So let's just avoid it altogether.
Tip number 2 is to vow to each other beforehand that you're not going to be physical with each other. So, before the trip even begins, you got to have an agreement and even promise to each other that, hey, we're going to go on this trip together, but we are not going to be physical. Because if you're not on the same page with each other before the trip, when you're there, it's over. You're going to be physical with each other.
Yeah, you could also make some guidelines, like a rule, like if we do break this promise to each other, then blah, blah, blah. What could it be?
Name the consequence.
Tip number 3 would be, if you guys are going to be in warm places where you're in bathing suits around each other, to just try not to touch each other during that time. Yeah,
even holding hands or kissing each other. If you're alone, just picture it.
Don't.
Yeah, don't picture it. But if you're in that kind of situation, it's just going to lead to doing things that you don't want to do. So maybe even the whole trip, that could be a great boundary. It's like, hey, we really want to experience this trip together. We want to see the world and God's creation together, but let's not make it a physical thing. Let's not hold hands. Let's not kiss, just for the duration of that trip even, because it can help set the standards high so that you don't fall into temptation.
That could also really help you guys to get to know each other a lot better too.
Oh yeah.
If you're not focusing on being physical with each other, you're going to do a lot of talking.
Mm-hmm.
Tip number 4 is to make your trip less than a week, because self-control can only go so far, and the longer you stay on that trip together, the more likely you are to fall into temptation.
Yeah, it's just not wise to put yourself in a situation where you're going to fail, or you're very likely going to fail. So if you must, make it less than a week. And tip number 5 is to save this for marriage. Like we mentioned earlier, we just really can't suggest doing it, because ultimately your goal as a Christian couple should be to honor God with your relationship, and that means to honor God with our bodies, to save that for marriage. And going on a trip together, yes, it's so much fun and it's like amazing, but it'll be even more amazing when you're married together.
And what'll be really cool is if you don't go on a trip together while dating, then your first big trip together is going to be your honeymoon, which would be so cool.
Yeah, that's true. And then just imagine what you can do under that waterfall.
Don't imagine it.
Yeah, don't imagine it. All right, guys, so that was a short and sweet video, but it was a high in demand, so we had to make it. We hope this video could be an opportunity for you guys to learn from us, learn from our mistakes, and that if we could do it over again,
we would wait.
We'd wait to take those trips when we got married.
This is Nate and Sutton sowing seeds of truth, love, and inspiration one view at a time.
And that was How Did We Travel the World Together as Virgins?
That's a long title. My hair good? Well, why? It's
I mean, as far as I can
if I
tell.
watch this, then my hair's messed up.
Oh my goodness. Putting stumbling blocks in our way, making it much.
Time's up.
Peace out.
You're so cool. What?
You ready?
Nope. I'll check my own hair. We're touching the right thing because it is messed up. Just to fix it.